Join us for lively discussion about the A-State community. Each week, we'll meet with a variety of faculty, staff, and students to discuss all things Arkansas State University. Live from the ASU-TV studios in the School of Media and Journalism, this is A-State Connections.
Hello everyone, welcome to A-State Connections on ASU-TV. I am Luke Dunlap, a sports media major here at Arkansas State University. Today we are talking about two of our student media organizations at Arkansas State University, ASU-TV and Red Wolf Radio. Joining me today is the station manager of Red Wolf Radio, David Carey, and ASU-TV producer and A-State Connections co-host, Julia McKee. How are we feeling today, all? Welcome to A-State Connections, and Julia, welcome back.
I'm feeling pretty good. It's different being in this seat, but I'm excited.
Yeah, how's it feel going from interviewer to interviewee?
Oh, I don't know. Us being on the same set?
I know. That's like call for chaos. Now, David, how about you?
Personally, I am not an interviewer for A-State Connections, but I have been on here once before, trying to get at least 5 before I graduate.
Oh, yeah, you trying to fill out that checklist?
Yes,
Hey,
join more
worry.
organizations just so I can, like I got to do one for Pike, like.
So tell us a little bit about y'all's respective stations. So, David, let's start off. Tell us about being a station manager at Red Wolf Radio.
Well, I'm going to first go into what Red Wolf Radio is.
Perfect.
Red Wolf Radio is the student-run radio station out of Arkansas State. Specifically, its idea is to serve as like a training grounds for students who want to delve into audio and radio. You have options to be like a producer. You can help do like radio stuff. Like you can do like a radio show where you show music. You can do one where you like talk on like the weather, stuff like that, just to give students experience. We started in 2014. We're trying to provide, I guess, an environment for people to go onto radio into the future, and they're just not as surprised.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Julia, how about you over on ASU TV? What's it like in that neck of the woods?
I love working for ASU TV. It's so much fun. We have such a great staff. Like David said, it's really just a starting point. It's getting your foot in the door to find different avenues of what you want to work on, whether it's being hosts of TV shows like me and Luke are, or it's being floor director or running camera, technical directing, audio, whatever you want to do. The opportunity is there with ASU TV, and it's something that you can't find anywhere else.
For sure. ASU TV really is just like a conglomerate of creativity along with Red Wolf Radio. So tell me about, David, switching back over to you. Tell us about the process of getting a show uploaded onto Red Wolf Radio.
Well, part of being the station manager is essentially, as Perkins explained it to me when I actually first came up, I am essentially the radio station. So everything goes through me. You have to usually ask for confirmation from me. Sometimes, depending on how sketchy it is, I have to ask him, but Galen Perkins. But personally, it's mostly just going through me. I have Dropbox links for students to turn stuff in. A lot of the time, students will email me or DM us on Instagram asking us through there whether they can upload this or not. We tend to get usually students tend to email me because, they're a little more nervous to put their stuff on there. But yeah, it's mostly just reach out, see if you can.
Right. And describe the process of what you did to become station manager.
That's a long sob story, but essentially, Mr. Perkins there offered me the job. I could tell the sob story. I could tell the sob story in a later segment, but I don't know if we have time in this segment for that.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, in that case, I'll switch it over to Julia. So, being a producer, walk me through what that's like from a day-to-day perspective.
So day-to-day, every Tuesday, we have a staff meeting with our lovely station manager, Christian Wilcox. He could not be here today, but we basically just run through the expectations that we have for our shows, what we want to do, what we've seen do and how it went, and then progression into, do we keep it the same, do we change it, what do we want to see in the near future, and it's constantly, we have constant students being like, oh, this would be such a great show, and so it's constant feedback between us and students, and A-State Connections is a prime example of that, bridging communities between the students and the faculty and the staff and the university as a whole.
Absolutely. It's just, I really got to respect how big ASU TV has grown, and I just can't wait to see it grow bigger.
Oh, me neither.
Oh, yeah. Now, David, so what would you say is one of your favorite ideas that you've ever heard come on to Red Wolf Radio?
I've heard Okay, radio is a little more limited than TV in that regard. Like on TV, they just randomly, someone will be like, hey, can I just go around campus and like, I don't know, like give stuff away? And that'll just be a show they do.
Yeah.
For me, it's a little more limited onto the radio still. Personally, I actually don't get as many ideas as they do, and I'm still pretty new. So I wouldn't say I have one that's definitively really funny. Perkins himself offered this. He did want to do a radio show with AI-generated like covers of music, which I actually didn't accept for ethical reasons because we tried to switch it over, but he wasn't a big fan of switching it over, so it never happened. But
That's great because like you really can't. I guess it makes sense whenever it's just an audio form. You've got to have that
it's just not
MP4 type.
ethical.
It's not really ethical. How about you, Julia? What's like the neatest like thing, opportunity, idea that someone's come up and said, "Hey, can we air this on TV?"
Oh gosh. Well, one is in the works right now. Someone wants to do a Family Feud type show, which I think is going to be super awesome. We do have a show that's kind of like the popular show Game Changers. It's called Rule Breakers. That show's pretty interesting. It's different. To me, when I think of ASU-TV, when I first got this position, I thought of Red Wolf Roundtable. That was one of the most popular shows that we had at the time. And so bringing in these other shows is changing the... When you close your eyes and you think of ASU-TV, it's changing the full picture to show that we really are branching out and giving more students more opportunities in TV.
Okay. And describe getting that crew together for a TV. Like, describe the process of how one would go through that. If I, a student, am trying to go out and make my own show, how do I grab my technical director, my floor director, my graphics operator, etc.?
So, prime example, Mr. Luke Dunlap texted me and was like, hey, I have an idea for a show. And I said, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to lay out all the logistics of it, who you need. Obviously, I told him I was here to help. We have a lovely staff who love the students, love the ideas, here to help. And I just told him we had to line the people out. Tell me, if I close my eyes and you described the show to me, I need to be able to see it, what it was going to look like, commercials to the people you were going to have on the show, events and stuff you were going to have, and then you line up a shoot date, you have all your people lined up, and it's go time from there.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what happened for me. I just basically texted you, Ben, a couple other people, and I was like, listen, I'm getting this show on the road, and the rest was history, you know? Mm-hmm. Pilot episode's out now. It's going great.
I say we have a lot of, between our staff and then we have student workers that are here to help. We have a lovely group of students here to help.
We really do. And that goes for Red Wolf Radio as well. Sometimes I'll just go up and talk to David and be like, hey, what can I do better for my shows? And he'll be like, shorten your title.
It was 3 sentences.
It was very long. It was very long.
What was it?
It was,
oh my God.
It was long. I don't even remember it. It was...
It was sad.
It was sad. What it was I was trying to go off of another podcast show, and I was trying to like basically take inspiration from their titles. Mm-hmm. Only difference is that dude doesn't do podcasts primarily. He's like an ESPN journalist.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I need to take it from an actual
description.
Yeah, my title could have been my description. Very well could have. But yeah, like I said, you guys just witnessed a prime example of the lovely David Carey helping me out in growing my Red Wolf Radio show. So thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that. Speaking of which, how is it like a live show? I know we just incorporated that into Red Wolf Radio.
Yeah.
Describe the process of that, doing a live show.
So I'm just one dude. So most all of it goes through either me, Sullivan, or Perkins, maybe even Tim occasionally. But essentially, we run our radio station through this program known as Live 365. It's an internet radio station provider because, you know, we're not old-fashioned. We don't use analog, and radio towers are expensive.
Yeah.
So we typically run it through this program. And they have this setup where they have like an encoder. And we can encode a live show, throw it in there. We have like a nice radio booth in Red Wolf Radio. We actually have really nice mics in there. Probably the best on campus. And basically students go, I want to do a radio show. I want to do it live. And I go, okay, sure. And the instructions are all set up there so they can do it themselves. Of course, usually it's me doing it because Sullivan makes me. But I'd say compared to ASU-TV, we're definitely a lot more solo done. Like if you want to do a non-live show, my rule is you have to produce it yourself because I'm not producing your show for you.
Right.
For a live show, it's a little more help from me because if something goes wrong, I mean, what are they going to do? Call Tim?
Right.
Tim might be halfway through a problem with ASU-TV. So usually I have a rule where at least one person who's an engineer qualified, usually me or Tim, is there. So
That's good. I mean, you really you're the guy that basically gives them a break. So, I mean, you got to respect that. I mean, and also.
I do not give Tim a break.
And also.
In fact, that makes his life worse.
Do we get that call-in system figured out?
We do have a function for that. We've had one. I'm not going to talk further on that product like that because we are still working it out on ASU-TV's side.
Absolutely.
On my end, we have had it set up for a while because Roadcasters are very lovely products as much as I dislike them.
Basically, David's waiting on me.
Oh, I see how it is. So, yeah, and Julia, back to you. So, that look you gave me was very scary.
You stuttered too much.
Oh, yeah. But what is your favorite aspect of ASU-TV?
Oh, gosh. It would have to be either the skills you learn as a student or the community involvement that we have. If you haven't been able to tell already, we laugh a lot here. This is probably one of my favorite staffs that I work with. We constantly have a great time, and because we're doing something that we enjoy,
Right.
and we're all really passionate about it, and it's so much fun between the radio and then the TV aspect of it. But sometimes I sit here and I think, I'm freshly 20 years old, a sophomore in college, and this is what I'm doing. Like, sometimes I just have to step back and be like, wow, like I'm not some little teenage girl from Central Arkansas anymore. Like, this is something that I get to do on a daily basis.
I have to tell myself all that time, I'm not that little Greenbrier boy anymore. It's just like, yeah. And like, man, I work for ESPN and I do a show and I do a podcast. It's like, whoa, I got school to do on top of that. It's a lot.
Time management is our best friend.
Absolutely. Red Wolf Radio station manager David Carey and ASU-TV producer Julia McKee join me on this edition of A-State Connections. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more A-State Connections.
Students should watch ASU-TV just to see the creativity that a college student can get. The creativity that some of these students have is truly amazing. Getting that experience can really just take you further, and I feel like our program does that for a lot of students.
I think one of the things I learned at Arkansas State was life is 10% of what happens to you, 90% of how you respond to it, and that's just something that I live by.
A-State is home, and they're going to treat you like you're a part of the family.
Red Wolf Radio is a student-led organization at Arkansas State University wanting to hear your takes on pop culture, music, the news, and college life. Just about anything you can think of. Located in the Education and Communications building on campus, we are always looking for more volunteers. So if you're an Arkansas State University student, no matter the major, and this is something that interests you, shoot us an email at redwolfradio@astate.edu. That's redwolfradio@astate.edu. Let them hear you howl.
Live from the ASU-TV studios in the School of Media and Journalism, this is A-State Connections.
Welcome back to A-State Connections on ASU-TV. Once again, I'm your host, Luke Dunlap. We are continuing our conversation with Red Wolf Radio station manager David Carey and ASU-TV producer Julia McKee. Once again, thank y'all for joining me on the show today.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Man, it's great to have y'all both. So I want to start out with David. We were saving this segment for this part right here. What got you into Red Wolf Radio and being the station manager?
Picture this scary thought. I was once a freshman in college.
Oh my goodness.
That's horrifying.
I know. I feel so old now
As
thinking
Luke's a
about that.
freshman.
So when I was a freshman, it wasn't, I wouldn't say it wasn't as engaged, but, as a freshman, you're very scared to get involved. They throw you on your first TV show as a freshman, and you're like, oh my God, am I even qualified to be here? And you're touching a camera.
Literally, what am I doing?
So in my first semester, I took this class known as EXP, Experimental Media 1.
Right.
Part of that is you had to volunteer for certain shows. So for my first show, personally, I was friends with this guy named Carson Campbell and Ryan Clark. They both actually were sports people before then, so they were working with, I guess, Red Wolf Roundtable during the time because they were EXP students who helped on that. So for my first show, I ended up working on Red Wolf Roundtable. First day I showed up, I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, am I even supposed to be going on here? I just remember this guy coming up to me, and he's like, hey, nice to meet you. What's your name? Hey. And then, like, I kept coming back, and he kept saying hi to me. He kept asking me about stuff. He kept saying, like, stuff to me like that. And I always thought, like, that dude is so cool. I want to be like that dude whenever, I get older. Dude, that's so cool. That guy was Easton John. He was the station manager of ASU-TV when I was a freshman. I barely spoke to Easton. But just the positivity and the environment he brought, and you could tell he really was trying to take interest in students. That really inspired me to want to be a station manager. And as most people do in college, I ended up giving up on that goal for a little while. And then randomly last year, I was actually looking for a second job. And Mr. Perkins went, hey, want to be a station manager? And I said, do I get paid? And he said, maybe. And I said, sure.
Hey, and the rest
Actually, Tim and Sullivan were also in the room, and they were literally behind him going, take it.
And now, Julia, how are you going to top that one?
Oh gosh, so I kind of started my story in the first segment. I came here a very, very ambitious freshman. Like that wasn't last year. And I love what we do. I love the atmosphere that comes with sports. I love the creativity with the media side of it. And I wanted to try everything. I wanted to learn it because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I knew that here, specifically at A-State, there was a place for everybody, especially in the media. Whatever you wanted to get involved with, there is something for you. And I actually started as an unpaid intern with the athletic department. I started video. I got handed a camera, didn't even know how to turn it on. I worked with Mr. Peyton Burr, and I got started there, and then I started helping out with Red Wolf Roundtable, which was super interesting, and then I actually went to school with Tristan and Cooper. We're all from Cabot, and Tristan had texted me and was like, hey, we're looking for a producer. You would be perfect for this. And I remember going, I'm a freshman who doesn't know anything. Like, I just got here. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do this. And he was like, Julia, like, you got it. And then Sullivan was like, I have faith in you. I know you can do it. I know that you have the ambition, you have the passion, you have the drive. Do it. I came up with my show pitch. It was called How to Freshman. And I said it was going to be a talk show where I talked about all things of how to be a freshman, what you needed, who you needed to talk to. Because a lot of the time, college is pretty dang hard. Like, you just really don't know what you're doing. And so that was my show pitch. And now I'm in my second year as being a producer here. So it's really knowing what you want to do and having the community and the networking abilities and knowing that even when you aren't your biggest fan, you have people who are fans of you and fans of what you are capable of doing.
Right. And I love the idea of, like, how to freshman, because there's only so much Making Connections class can really teach you. The rest is kind of on you. And so that's a really good outing. Man, someone should pick that back up.
Yes, so that was what I was going to do, and then I really had to learn time management because I took that on, and then working with the athletic department, and then I'm now an RA. I was like, this is what I'm going to do, and then the weeks got shorter. There wasn't enough hours in the day, and I was like, I don't know if I could do my own show. So my boss at the athletic department, his name is Ty Phillips. He actually had a show on ASU-TV called ASU-TV Tonight. It was him and Easton John, and it was just a talk show where they talked about whatever. They played Two Truths and a Lie at least once an episode. I remember watching it, and I was like, that would be a cool show. So I'm in the process of picking that back up, and maybe next year me and Luke can start How to Freshman.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'm a freshman right now, and I'm not freshmaning very well at all.
I actually worked that show back when it was Red Wolf Roundtable After Dark.
Really?
Yeah.
There was an after dark segment.
It used to
of Red
just
Wolf
be
Roundtable?
basically Easton's talk show, and he'd bring on Tristan and Cooper occasionally. But then they decided to go away from them, made it ASU Tonight, and it basically just became Easton's talk show. Ty joined him, and yeah.
Well, that's sick. Yeah, I'm not freshmaning very well. I don't think anyone would want my advice as a freshman. I mean, I am taking lots of opportunities in terms of like, I mean, I got this position here for A-State Connections host as a freshman. I mean, it's really just about meeting people and getting your name out into the world of ASU-TV and Red Wolf Radio. Goodness gracious. Because then, like, you meet all these people. Like, if I hadn't have met Ben Morris, David, I wouldn't have been in the ESPN control room right now. It's really just about who you meet. And
Do you want to learn a secret about being a freshman?
I do want to learn
Dude,
a secret.
Nobody freshman's well.
Nobody
You'll
freshman's
think
well.
you'll think like I'm doing so horrible. I'm doing so great. You'll have like 5 opportunities, and then there'll be some random dude in your major, and it's like, oh yeah, I just like run this whole like TV station back home. Yeah, it's just a small one. It only has 100 people, and you're like, why are you here?
No, because that's so real. Because it's in my Making Connections class, and there's this guy, and I was talking to him. He was like, yeah, I work for like ESPN. I do some stuff for the radio and some ASU-TV stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, I make the commercials for First National Bank. What? And so I'm like, okay, I guess there's levels to this, you know?
It's weird because this program, I think it's very good about giving you experience in certain projects you might encounter. But a big deal about it is getting involved, which I know is I hate that term. It feels so like, I guess, passive aggressive, like get involved.
It sounds like you're like recruiting, like.
But
the
like,
It really
military.
does.
yeah, it sounds like you should join the army. But like, the best term to describe it is, if you're only going to classes and only doing stuff at classes, you are most likely behind. It's not because you should be doing that. It's because everyone around you is doing that. And like, genuinely, I very vividly remember in my Making Connections class, I did nothing outside of this. I know people who did nothing. And then there were random girls who were like, oh yeah, I take photos for like the Met Gala or something. I was like, what is with you?
Yeah.
Why are you at this program?
I was always raised on the phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think that
Same.
really gets you involved here. Like I said, I was a very ambitious freshman. I met Hannah Rainwater, sweetest person ever. She now teaches media at Nettleton. And she was like, oh, I think we have an opening with the athletic department. I think you should come help us. And that was my foot in the door. And now here I am, because I get asked all the time, like, Julia, you're only like a year and a half into school and you're doing all this. Like, how do you do this? And I was like, I just met the right people. And I think if I do start back up Had a Freshman, I think that show would be perfect on, if you're interested in this, this is how you get it. And it's like stemming from A-State Connections. That is something that I always talk about when I was hosting was, yes, all of these programs are lovely, but how would students get involved in this? Because that's ultimately what we're here to do, is we're here to learn so that the second we leave the university, we can go put all these skills and all these connections that we've made to use.
Yes. So good thing you said that. Describe what both of y'all want to do after graduating.
I ask myself that every day. I have dreams. I am also in college, so I have a lot of dreams. I guess the best thing I wanted to say is, for sure, I definitely want to do something audio. Now, over the years, like when I was a freshman, I wanted to be a Foley artist, and I gave up on that one fast because if you know anything about those guys, they're hard to get into. I've thought about radio over the years. I want to do live TV audio for a while. I guess I've just kind of realized I'm so fascinated by sound.
Yeah.
I love audio as a concept. I love learning about it. I love audio like people in this university love video. And I'm fine with going anywhere as long as I'm happy doing it.
That's a very good track to be on. Just pursue happiness.
Yeah.
How about you, Julia?
So when I got here, I felt the exact same way. I was like, oh, I want to do this, and then I want to do that. I commentated girls basketball when I was in high school, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be radio talent. I'm going to call games. I'm really good at hiding it on TV, but I have a very fat country accent, and a lot of the time that's not what people want to listen to. So then I got involved with the athletic department, and I was like, oh, I want to be a photographer. I want to take photos. I hate Lightroom. Found that out the hard way. Then I picked up, for Christmas, I got a Sony camera, and I've started taking video, and I was like, I want to do video. Then I started doing social media for the women's basketball team. I was like, oh, I want to be a social media person for an athletic team. And then now I'm the student creative for volleyball. I travel with them, I post stuff to socials, I make videos, I edit, produce, all that. So like David said, as long as I'm happy with what I'm doing, my dad always told me that if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. Sometimes I think that's a lie, because I did, in fact, work 13 hours on Saturday with the 3 back-to-back games.
Yeah, that was a nightmare. We
But-
all 3 worked that. Oh, goodness.
But it was so much fun just to be there. I know for a fact if the Cubs called me right now and said they needed a videography intern, I would pack my bags and move to Chicago right now.
To add on to Julia on the down low, I refuse to do audio editing. I'm sorry. Like, I only do it when it's necessary. Adobe Audition, I hate it.
It's rough.
I
hate
will
it.
be doing my audition homework, and then I'll be like, ChatGPT, how do I remove? How
I
do
know
I
what I'm
bring that
doing.
back?
That's how I am. You know, y'all bringing up all these things about how y'all's like dreams and passions change. I'm genuinely concerned because I'm one of those the 68 millionth person to be like,
You're not
yeah,
gonna
I
know
want
what
to
you
be,
wanna
I want to
do.
be a, I want to be a video talent. You know, I want to go up on a TV station, talk about sports, go home to a nice family. But I'm like, who knows? Maybe in 4 years I'll be in a Starbucks. You know,
Yeah.
it's just life. You know,
Especially with this industry, you have no clue what you want
you
to
really
do.
don't.
But I also love that, especially with just me and David from the station and then the radio, that we have enough resources to where you can be versed across the board. Like, you
Yeah.
can learn so many different things.
Absolutely. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap it here. So that will do it for this edition of A-State Connections. Once again, I am Luke Dunlap with A-State Connections and host of Tipped Off with Luke Dunlap on Spotify and soon ASU-TV. You can find me on Instagram at LDTippedOff and at Luke Dunlap 5 for my main. I want to thank my guests once again, David Carey and Julia McKee, for joining me today. I also want to say a huge thank you to the instructor of creative media production, Galen Perkins, and his amazing students in Video Production 1 who are behind the scenes running the show today. I could not host this show without them, seriously. Special thanks to our producer today, Mr. Jonathan Reeves, and to our broadcast engineer, Timmy Arquette, Aiden Barber, and graduate assistant Reese Barnett for their help on this show. Thank you all for joining us, and, well, for the last time this semester, I'm Luke Dunlap, clocking out on a high note. Take care, y'all.
Students should watch ASU TV just to see